Tiff, I am never going to forget that video that you made. And I thought about it today. We're not allowed to show it apparently, but it's the commercial of Oprah saying, I love bread. And then you're eating bread, like lots of it. Oh, there it is.
What, that one?
That's a screenshot of it. It was so cute. And I think it's so true. I mean, everyone loves bread, right? Especially if you're lucky enough to have it fresh, made from scratch.
That's right. So today, award-winning cook and TV host Kristina Vanni has several bread recipes that you can try, some with yeast, some without. She's going to share them all. You don't even have to make a video. You can just eat it. Hey, Kristina.
Good morning. How
Hey
you doing?
there.
Who doesn't love carbs
Thanks.
right now, really?
Thanks for joining us. I feel like so many people are baking, they're cooking at home, they're doing all these things, but bread, I feel, has particularly become a popular hobby while staying at home. So I know that I'm not a baker, but there are a lot of beginning bakers out there. Do you have some tips for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bread baking really has become a phenomenon during these stay-at-home times. I think that there are two types of people in this world. There's people during quarantine who baked bread and people who did jigsaw puzzles. So it's like one or the other. So if you want to get on the Okay, well, you know, we're going to get you on the bread baking bandwagon because it's not hard and I have a lot of fun tips for you. So if you are a beginning bread baker, there's no worries. I have a super simple recipe that's actually made in the slow cooker. So you don't even have to turn on your oven. You don't even have to knead this bread. All it is some flour, water, salt, and some yeast. That's it. You put it in the slow cooker, it rises beautifully, and you have this nice fluffy loaf of bread. And the only thing you have to be careful of is when you lift that lid of the slow cooker, a whole bunch of steam has accumulated inside, so you don't want to have a steaming bread facial. So just be real careful when you lift the lid, but you'll be amazed this beautiful loaf of bread you can get out of the slow cooker.
See, a slow cooker, the crock pot is my favorite kitchen appliance. Yeah. I say it all the time. I am thrilled that you can make bread in a crock pot. That's crazy to me.
I never would have thought.
Okay,
but, so here's the thing. Yeah?
Yeah, because I want to talk about if someone can't find yeast in their local grocery store, because a lot of people are making bread right now, and there's a true shortage.
Absolutely. I mean, who would have thought like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and yeast would be like the gold of our times, but it's become that. And so so people have turned to some different techniques if they can't find commercial yeast. So one of the oldest recipes is, of course, Irish soda bread. So that there's no yeast in it. It's just the baking soda and buttermilk. And that combination makes the bread rise into that nice, beautiful loaf. So that's one way to have a leavening agent that's not yeast. Now, another answer is think about this for a second. If you don't have any commercial packets of yeast in your house, what might you have in your house that still has yeast in it?
I know.
That would be
beer.
A beer. So you can actually, because there's yeast right here in a beer, you can make bread with a brewski. So all you do is you use self-rising flour. So that's a great convenience ingredient because it's all-purpose flour that's already been mixed with baking powder and salt in sort of perfect ratios. So you take some self-rising flour, add a little bit of sugar, a little more salt, and then an entire can or bottle of beer. So don't be tempted to drink any because you need all those 12 ounces. So pour that all in. And then you just put it in a loaf pan. And then what you do is you pour melted butter on top. It's going to look weird because it's going to sort of pool on top. Don't worry, because when you put it in the oven, it'll sort of all absorb in and it'll be this perfectly moist, delicious bread when it comes out of the oven. And you didn't need any yeast, just a beer.
Oh, that is phenomenal. I know everybody's going to, after the show, they're going to be, okay, I'm making bread because it all looks so delicious. What about,
and it's so easy.
What about sourdough bread? That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so sourdough, that's kind of been where people are really shining during this time. Because sourdough, that's how we made bread before commercial yeast was available. Because around us all the time, there's natural yeasts in the air. So when you make sourdough, you're harnessing those natural yeasts. So all you have to do is take a bowl and put in equal parts flour and water to make your starter. So this is when having a kitchen scale is going to be really useful. So then all you do is just mix that all together and then cover it with a towel or some cheesecloth and then put it somewhere warm. So overnight. Then the next day, it's going to look about the same, but you'll feed it again. And then you cover it, put it somewhere warm. You come back the next day, all of a sudden there's going to be some bubbles there. The third day, there's going to be even more bubbles. It'll have that sour sort of smell to it. And then after about 5 days, you will have a great sourdough starter. And I feel like it's such a good metaphor for our times because all you need is flour, water, and a little bit of patience. And patience is just kind of what we need to get through all this right now. So then once you have your starter, you can use it to make a loaf of sourdough bread or a whole array of other sourdough things. So I've made sourdough pancakes, sourdough pretzels, I made sourdough popovers. So once you have that starter, the possibilities are endless.
Kristina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Wow.
This looks absolutely delicious. These are phenomenal, easy recipes, and we so appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks,
I hope
Kristina.
everybody has some fun baking.
I hope so too, and a little patience on that sourdough. And you can find all of Kristina's recipes on the spruceeats.com website. We have also provided those links on our website, themorningblend.com.